Hey guys, so today I'm going to do another ranking list, and this is going to be my top 30 best games of 2023 that I've played. Yes, that is a lot of games, and that's just because 2023, which was last year, had probably the most ridiculous stacked lineup of video games I've ever seen. And I've done a lot of video gaming over the years, right? You guys can look at my YouTube channel, can see how many video games I played. I've definitely played quite a bit of video games, a lot of them all from different years, mostly from 1990 onwards. So I think I have a pretty good idea of how many good games were released each year, right? Because I played basically games from every year, and I played over, 2,000 games at this point on my channel. So yeah, I think I have a good idea how many good games were released roughly, each year. But last year was special. Last year, the game of the year was very, very difficult. I mean, sure, you have the same contenders, right? You go on video game websites and you have a similar list of contenders, but there was a lot of good games last year. Last year was stacked, and I believe if you look at the Metacritic scores of each game, just go to Metacritic.com, and then you can see that last year had probably the most 80s and higher out of any year in Metacritic history. Out of like all the games in Metacritic history, like released each year, probably last year had the most games ranked 80 and higher. So that just goes to show, just how many great games were released last year. So that's why I can do a top 30 because, yeah, there's just so many good games, right? I actually have more than 30 games I liked that I played last year, but I'll go my top 30, and these are all going to be games that were released last year, guys. And I'm going to go based on my personal favorites, not on necessarily objectively, the gaming ranking list, whatever IGN or GameSpot or whoever published their list. I'm just going to go off of my personal list. Okay, these were the games I enjoyed the most, my top 30 from last year, 2023. So before I do my list, I have to give an honorable mention, and actually my honorable mention will go to Wargroove 2. So Wargroove 2 is the sequel to Wargroove, of course, and that was a game that I really played a lot. And it's a great tactical game. It's based on Advance Wars, but of course it does some things different than Advance Wars. It's not like the whole military stuff. It's more like fantasy based. So I really liked the original Wargroove. Unfortunately for Wargroove 2, the reason why it's not on this list is because it just doesn't do things different enough from Wargroove. It's not a bad thing. I mean, Wargroove is a great game, so there's not much reason to change it, but at the same time, it just feels like playing an expansion of Wargroove, It doesn't really feel like it plays as its own game. It's like when I play Wargroove 2, it's like playing Overwatch 2, right? It's like, what's the difference? I play Overwatch 2 is exactly the same as Overwatch. Wargroove 2 is pretty similar to Wargroove 1. It's just with some extra factions, basically, and some new maps. So I didn't feel like I was playing anything that different, just some new characters and heroes and stuff. So yeah, that's why I didn't make this list. It's a good game. I do have to mention it because I love Wargroove. Funny enough, Advance Wars also came out with a remaster in 2023, the 1+2 Reboot Camp. But yeah, just want to make this honorable mention here, Wargroove 2. Didn't quite make this list because it didn't quite do things different enough from Wargroove 1. It just feels like an expansion of Wargroove 1. But yeah, still makes this list because I love Wargroove. Okay, so another honorable mention I'm going to put on this list is Killer Frequency. This is a pretty cool game. It's kind of like, it's like a horror game where you play as this DJ in a small town. It's a small rural town in America, and there's a serial killer on the loose, and yeah, there's not much you can do to stop him actually, and he's like going around killing people, and because you're a DJ and the sheriff has been killed, you're basically taking these 911 calls from people who are getting killed by the serial killer, and you gotta like help save them, basically. But at the same time, you're also doing your DJ stuff, and you're talking with your production manager or your host or whatever at the same time. So you got some nice playful banter going on.
We got the word out, I guess.
But yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. I haven't played a horror game quite like this one. I mean, of course, there's a lot of horror games where there's like killers on the loose and stuff, but not one where you play as a DJ and then you try to help people out. By taking their calls. So it's pretty interesting, I guess. Yeah. I also think this could be like a VR game. Because honestly, it controls like one. it controls a lot like a VR game, and if it is, that would make it even more immersive, honestly. But yeah, I had a fun time playing this game. I think if you guys are looking for like a unique horror game or adventure game, then definitely check it out. Right, you play like this DJ in this rural American town, and yeah, trying to save people from this serial killer that's on the loose. So yeah. And you got some nice dialogue and playful banter going on as well, so it's pretty cool actually. I think it's set sometime in the 1980s as well, so it's got that kind of vibe going as well. So yeah, overall pretty unique game, I would say. Okay, another honorable mention I have to talk about is World of Horror. This is made by just one guy, I think. It's a very indie game, and he did it in a style of a 1980s Japanese visual novel style, and yeah, it's like a horror RPG, and pretty interesting. It does have point and click aspects in it as well, so you go around this small Japanese town, and you try to investigate some mysteries, and yeah, you end up fighting some monsters sometimes, which actually do look pretty creepy. Like if you take a look at this guy here, right? So yeah, there's RPG aspects to this game, but also horror aspects and point-and-click adventure aspects as well. So it's a combination of a few different genres. The art style is pretty unique, I would say. Yeah, it looks like I think it was done, purposely, like in the style of like a 1980s visual novel style, like in the old Japanese computers basically would have this kind of art style. So yeah, it's a pretty unique looking game, and I had some fun playing it. It's just a unique game. I haven't played exactly another kind of point and click horror RPG like this one. Yeah, and I think I actually had this on my top 34 games as well, because it is very unique, and there are parts where it's like, wow, like the monster design that they have is, or that this indie developer made is actually pretty creepy. Look at this guy glitching out like this. And then there's yeah, some pretty gruesome scenes, even though that's done in this lower pixelated type of aesthetic, but it still looks kind of creepy and horrific actually. So yeah, I think this is a really cool RPG, and more people should check it out. So it's essentially like a horror RPG with point and click aspects to it, and investigative aspects to it as well. So a combination of different genres, but anyways, I think more people should check this one out. It is very, very unique, so I had to mention World of Horror. Like playing this one a lot. Alright, so my number 30 favorite game from last year was Diablo 4. And this game, I mean, it might seem a little bit low for some people on this list if you're a Diablo fan, but honestly, there was just so many good games released last year. So yeah, Diablo 4 is going to be in my number 30 place.
The camera just fucking turns them to ash, man.
Yeah. Nice. Here I'm playing with a friend, obviously. Yeah, he's quite talkative. But yeah, this game I did play a decent amount of last year with a friend. But it's just more Diablo, honestly.
Oh my god, it's so effective.
I guess it has a bit of a darker tone than Diablo 3, which is a good thing. But at the same time, it's not too different from Diablo 3 or Diablo 2 Resurrected. So I feel like I'm just playing kind of Diablo 2 Resurrected, or just like maybe a darker version of Diablo 3, and that's pretty much it. Plus I don't like the seasons thing.
Oh man, he's dead already? That's fast.
I don't like the fact that I lose my character, between seasons and stuff like that.
Why you came back?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little, fun game to play with friends. Good way to kill time, but it's not really a game.
He's gonna be dead again. Very shortly.
It's not.
Oh, nice.
It's not a really deep game. It's like.
It's melted, man.
I can play it for a long time, and I'll level up my character, equipment, everything. It's like a loot. A lot of, killing for loot, grinding, and stuff like that. So there's that part, but it's not really that deep for me. It's just kind of repetitive. So, I mean, Diablo, all the Diablo games are just like clicking, so it's super repetitive. But, I mean, Diablo 4 is not a bad game. It's still pretty good enough for me to put on this list, just it's not going to be very high. So I put it in the last spot. So, yeah, number 30 is going to be Diablo 4. Yeah, pretty good action RPG. It's just that it doesn't really do anything new, and it's kind of repetitive, honestly. But yeah, fun to play with friends. Right, so number 29 out of my favorite games that I played last year is Fire Emblem Engage. So in some ways, I actually like this better than Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I know it's kind of weird because a lot of people think Three Houses is like one of the best Fire Emblem games. But for me, Three Houses was a little bit too far away from a traditional Fire Emblem game for me. Like Three Houses was like, okay, if they want to take some of Persona's like social links and relationships and put into Fire Emblem, and sure, that's fine. That makes the game more interesting and it makes it different. But yeah, Engage definitely goes back to more of a traditional Fire Emblem, just like strategy tactics based, which is what Fire Emblem really is, right? So yeah, Engage is definitely more of a traditional Fire Emblem game than Three Houses. There's less of that relationship building stuff, more of just straight up tactics and stuff. So yeah, I actually kind of appreciated this, and I think Engage is actually a pretty decent Fire Emblem game. I think people don't give it enough credit just because, well, I guess because it's not Three Houses. But for me, I like both of these games. I like Three Houses for its kind of unique social relationship system. It's different than other Fire Emblem games, and I also like Engage because it's more of a traditional Fire Emblem gameplay. So yeah, it's not the best Fire Emblem game, but definitely had my fun with it. So, and it brings back a lot of the old Fire Emblem heroes as well. So that's a nice nostalgic thing. So, anyways, Fire Emblem Engage is my number 29. All right, so number 28 for me is Sea of Stars, which is indie title that really tries to make itself look like an old school SNES JRPG, very much inspired by Chrono Trigger. So this is a good game. It's got a lot of excitement, and a lot of JRPG fans really got a lot of their attention when it came out. But for me, it's yeah, it's a good game. But the thing is, there's so many JRPGs now that I mean, so many indie games. Sorry, so many indie games right now that are inspired by JRPGs. I mean, we just had Chained Echoes that came out the year before, and honestly, if you ask anyone who played both of these games, Chained Echoes is the better game. Sea of Stars is not quite as deep as Chained Echoes is. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sea of Stars is a good game. That's why it's on this list. But it's not as deep as of a game, or as enjoyable of a game as Chained Echoes is. That's another great. That's another great indie title that was inspired by old school JRPGs. Also, if you have other games like Cosmic Star Heroine or Rise of the Third Power, like there's a lot of indie games that are inspired by the old school JRPGs. This is just one of them, and Crosscode as well, by the way. So, yeah, so Sea of Stars is a good game. It is inspired by Chrono Trigger and stuff, so you have the retro mechanics and everything. But I feel like it's not doing anything really particularly unique or special. It's just really trying to get that old school JRPG, kind of charm. But it's not really trying to do anything too unique. So, anyways, Sea of Stars is my number 28. Okay, so number 27 is Metroid Prime Remastered. This was actually one of the, I think probably one of the best, at least for FPS games on the GameCube originally. This was really, I've always wanted to play Metroid Prime for a long time because I never had an original GameCube, and I was always curious about it because it's the first person Metroid game. And you know, like a lot of Nintendo fans seem to really love it. So I did play the remastered version, and I mean, it's a good game, but it's just, I mean, it's aged a bit, hasn't it? I mean, we've seen a lot of good first-person shooters come out over the years, and I'm sure Metroid Prime was good for the time, but yeah, I played this game. I liked it. It's a good game. That's why it's on this list. But I don't think if it was released today, I don't think it would get as much critical acclaim as it did back then. And I don't think, like, if you look at Metroid Prime Remastered, yeah, it's a good remaster and faithful to the original game. It's just that we have so much competition this year. So, yeah, I mean, so much competition in FPS games throughout the years. So, certainly the FPS genre has evolved a lot since the original Metroid Prime. So, a lot of the mechanics in this game kind of seem dated to me. It's just like a slower paced game. Like, you think of FPS games as, you know, just fast paced shooter games like Doom, but Metroid Prime Master is more of like a puzzle first person shooter. So it's not really, you gotta like solve puzzles and stuff like that. You can't just be going around shooting stuff. So it's definitely slower paced. So yeah, I think in a sense it's aged a bit. It's still a good game, just there's been a lot of other great FPS games since then. But still a good game. So anyways, the remaster version still gets on this list at number 27.
Keep your eyes open.
Alright, so number 26 is going to be Hogwarts Legacy. And this game is, I mean, I was really excited for a Harry Potter open world game. Obviously, I mean, this should have been done a long time ago. And it's a good game. It's just not like really great enough for me to be putting it to a much higher than this. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just say it's very mid, and yeah, kind of it is. But I mean, it's just nice to have a decent quality open world Harry Potter game. I mean, come on, right? You play as like a wizard in the Hogwarts world and everything, can explore around. So that all is very interesting.
Good timing.
It's something I think people have been waiting for a very long time. So it's just cool to be able to have an open world Harry Potter game like this.
So many stairs. Okay.
But yeah, I can't put it higher than this because honestly, like,
Food Flames
it doesn't do things like well enough. I just
So
felt like some
astronomy?
things were just tedious.
Yes, sir.
Like a lot of things were just like, oh, go do this, go do that. Pick some more of this item. It's like you gotta follow this schedule and you know, just doing some very tedious tasks. So I feel like yeah, you don't get your broomstick until like a bit later in the game, which is annoying. So you can't really fly right away, and yeah, just a lot of things kind of annoyed me about this game. But it's not a bad game. Just I can't put it any higher than this. It's just cool to have an open world Harry Potter game, but yeah, it could have been better, I think.
Wow.
Definitely, I
How high
think
can
when
it
it
go?
released, people had more higher expectations for it. Alright, so number 25 is going to go to Cassette Beasts. This is an indie game that, well, people call it a Pokemon clone because the gameplay is similar to Pokemon. You capture monsters, and you make them fight other monsters, but Cassette Beasts has its own twist on the formula. Because, yeah, basically you record these monsters onto cassettes, and if you replay the cassette, you want to, yeah, basically have the monster show up and fight for you, and it's a 2-on-2 thing. All the monsters are fairly, well, I wouldn't say original or unique, but it's not like a complete copy like Power World is. So, yeah, Cassette Beasts is kind of its own thing, which is cool. So it's a twist on the Pokemon formula, and I have to give it props for that, since it's an indie game. So obviously they didn't have a huge budget or anything, but they, you know, they made a nice little twist on Pokemon. In fact, I like it better than the recent Pokemon games. I think a lot of people agree, right? The recent Pokemon games are not that good. So I actually like Cassette Beasts better. It's got more charm to it. Yeah. So I had to put Cassette Beasts on my list. It's a fun game to play. It's a nice indie game. So if you guys like Pokemon, definitely check it out. Cassette Beasts is a nice, fun indie game to play. So that's number 25. Right, number 24 is Love Is All Around.
Sure,
I know this might seem like a joke to people, but it's not a joke. I really am going to put this game in my top 30 because it's actually a pretty enjoyable game. Because they're using real life Chinese actors here. Well, actually, I'm not sure if they're professional actors, but certainly it's live action. So to have a dating sim that's live action is not very common. I think the only other ones I know of that I played before is Summer Sweetheart, which is a Japanese one. I think this probably takes some cues from Summer Sweetheart. But actually it's a fun game to play. Because like each of the girls has their own like unique reactions and stuff. Yeah, they're reasonably cute enough, I guess, and it's just fun to see like what kind of reactions they'll have. So yeah, certainly, and this guy that you're playing as is pretty much of a dork. So it's a funny game to play as well. So it's just fun to see these girls' reactions and stuff. So yeah, as a dating sim game, this is actually one of my favorite dating sim games. Now, if this was actually in any other year, this would actually go higher. But since it's 2023 and it's stacked, this will have to settle for number 24. But yeah, overall, I think this is a good game for people to pick up if you're lonely or bored. Definitely, this game is fun to play. It's just not especially deep because there's only a certain amount of routes, right, that you can take, and you have to basically get the right actions at the right time and stuff like that, and have to gain favor with the girls and stuff. So yeah, it's not like a really deep game gameplay wise, but for what it is, a Chinese dating sim game with live action, yeah, pretty good. There's not many of these out there actually. So, and I think it's reasonably well done. So, anyways, graphics are good because this is live action, right? So can't really get better than live action when it comes to graphics. So that's it, guys. This is gonna be my number 24 on my list. Yeah, Love Is All Around. Check it out.
Oh shit.
23 is gonna go to Atomic Heart.
Oh shit.
I actually really like this game. I think I enjoyed it more than a lot of people.
Oh no.
Atomic Heart, it's basically, yeah, it's like a Soviet Union version of Bioshock, or an alternate, yeah. It's like
Damn.
Bioshock with a different setting, which is still cool, right? Because Bioshock's an awesome game. So I liked that the twist that they did on it. The graphics are really nice. I do like the first-person
See?
horror and fantasy mechanics they put in here to try to be like Bioshock. So yeah, all in all, I really like this game.
It's like a tape recording machine.
It might not be
Okay, cool.
the most original game, but certainly it is its own thing. So it's different than Bioshock. It's just inspired by it. So it's its own thing. So
Okay.
in a year with so many remakes and stuff like that,
Rise of the Machines.
and I have to kind of balance out the remakes with what the original game was as well. Like I can't just put a remake lower just because it's a remaster remake. You know, I'm trying to judge the game on its own merits. So yeah, in a fair world, actually, this would rank higher than a lot of remakes because it actually is more original than them. But since I'm kind of judging the game on its own merits as well, the original game, that's why this will go lower than a lot of the remakes and remasters on this list.
Yeah, got
But
it.
anyways, still a pretty good game. I had a lot of fun with this game. So yeah, I think it's kind of underrated actually. That's Atomic Heart.
May I remind you that you're...
Right, number 22 is Starfield, which honestly I had a tough choice choosing between this and Atomic Heart because I kind of enjoyed them equally, although they're very different games. Starfield is obviously a huge open world game. You can fly to a bunch of different planets and stuff like that. But I just feel like, yeah, this game didn't live up to the hype, right? I mean, it's a good game. It's on this
Do we need
list. Don't get me
oxygen?
wrong, but
Oxygen here.
you're in a
This is
year
a
with
city,
all
right?
these
You
other
should have
amazing
its own
games and stuff like that.
self-contained oxygen.
You gotta do better than this, right? Like we've been waiting for such a
New
long time
Atlantis.
for
This
Starfield,
is a little
and then
information kiosk.
you come out with this, and it's basically Fallout 4 in space. I mean, it's not really that different. I mean, sure, Todd Howard said, "Hey, we did all this new stuff, and you know, this game took a long time because they put a lot of work and stuff into it." Well, I know for most people, it just feels like Fallout 4 in space. So sure, it's original, right? But just like Atomic Heart, it's original, but you obviously can tell the inspiration was from something else. So anyways, it's a good game. It just didn't live up to the hype, and yeah, it is a really big open world game, and I wish it was better
Let's go into the
optimized. As you can
subway,
see,
transit
I'm having some issues with the
Mass
performance
District
because this is
Residential.
probably one of the hardest games for me to run on my computer because of the performance, the fact that it's not optimized very well. So, anyways, yeah, so Starfield is going to be
What the heck's that about?
outside of my top 20, honestly, but it still makes my
They should
list.
at least
It's
show
just-
you an animation of you getting into the subway. I mean, it would be nice to have even ability
Yeah,
to
so
watch
they don't
things
even
when
have an
you're in-
animation for getting through the subway. I mean, they just have like a loading black loading
It's
screen.
just like the train just takes off without
Even
you in
Deus
front
Ex
of
had
you
a
and
nice,
somehow that
well,
transport
Deus
shit
Ex
doesn't
Human,
make sense.
Mankind Divided had a nice loading
Yeah,
screen.
ideally,
to
but
the
you
subway.
could go inside the train and then see it firsthand. But
Yeah, and then there's these performance issues, right? As you can see, I had.
to make sure, like Deus Ex at least does that, right?
Yeah.
Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, and at least you can go inside.
Yeah,
and
so that's what I
see a
said.
little
Yeah,
bit
Deus Ex Mankind
of it
Divided
moving you.
had these animations and stuff when you were in the subway. Yeah, so Starfield definitely had a lot of potential, but in a lot of ways it lets us down. So
a space colony.
yeah, in a lot of ways, No Man's Sky or even Outer Worlds did stuff better than Starfield. So yeah, it makes this list because it's still a good game. Still a really nice big open world game, RPG, but it just could have been better. So yeah,
Restricted,
Starfield is going to be on this list at 22. All right, so at number 21 is Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon. This is probably my favorite mech game. So I played, Mech Warrior, and I played Zone of the Enders and some Gundam games and stuff like that. And Armored Core 6 honestly has the most fluid controls out of all of them. And yeah, it's a very intense game because it's FromSoft, so it's pretty challenging and stuff. So don't expect to make it that far in this game because it's pretty challenging. It is FromSoft after all. But yeah, it's probably my favorite mech game. The controls are very fluid. It's done very well. It's a very polished game. But at the same time, I cannot say that mech games rank very high, because for me, I don't play that many mech games. So you can only go so high if you're a mech game for me, because it's not like they're my favorite type of game or anything like that. So yeah, it is my favorite mech game, but at the same time, it doesn't really say a lot, because it's not like I play a lot of mech games or anything like that. So anyways, I have to give props to Armored Core 6 because the execution is done really well. It's very polished and everything, controls really well, very fluid and responsive. Just fun to play as, just fun to play this this game as a mech game, right? If you guys ever want to play a game like a mech game, and you control a giant robot and stuff like that, then Armored Core 6 is definitely one of the best ones. It's the controls super nice. A lot of mech games just get the controls down. I mean, they don't get the controls down very well, so that's the thing. Whereas with Armored Core 6, I feel like they really nailed it. But at the same time, I cannot rank this very high because, there's just other genres and types of games I like better. So, anyways, 21 is Armored Core 6. Alright, so getting to the top 20, number 20 is System Shock Remake. Honestly, this remake was done pretty well. I have played the original game and the enhanced edition as well. So this remake is done pretty well, decently faithful to the original. And the original is a classic, by the way. The reason why it's at number 20 and not higher is probably just because it's like System Shock is a classic, and because it's a pioneer, I would say, of the sci-fi genre, the RPG genre. But it's not really my favorite RPG to begin with in terms of the actual
Catch me.
in terms of the actual gameplay, and I think you can only do so much, right? The source material itself is more well known for being influential rather than the actual gameplay itself. So the actual gameplay of System Shock, I wouldn't say it's my favorite RPG or anything like that. It's clunky, and System Shock Remake is definitely more modernized, but I would still say it's not like it's still a little bit clunky because it is trying to base itself on a game originally from 1994. So it does a lot to modernize it, but still, I think there's other RPGs I'd probably play over this one. But it's still a good game, so that's why I have it in the top 20. It's still a well-done remake of a classic. But System Shock number 1, the original number 1, was not my favorite System Shock. System Shock 2 was better for me. So if this was a remake of System Shock 2, I probably would have put this higher. But I wasn't like not like a huge fan of the original System Shock game or anything. I just recognize that it's a very influential RPG, and especially for the sci-fi genre.
Always broken.
But this is a remake of a
you guys don't give me shit.
Classic RPG game that's probably well known for its influence, rather than maybe just the gameplay itself is just a little bit clunky for me. But this is a good game. It's a remake of a good game, and that's all I have to say about it. It's not my favorite System Shock game, but it's a well done remake. So I had to put it on this list at number 20. You guys are gonna see a lot of remakes and remasters on this list, but number 19 is Dead Space Remake. Which is another great remake, just like with the System Shock remake,
because of the lights, right?
And a lot of the other remakes on this list. This is done well.
But you know what? I have to.
Not really my favorite Dead Space game, and honestly, like I'm not a huge fan of Dead Space games anyways. I get it's a space horror.
Unfortunately, that's going to make it
and it's got a lot of influence from Alien and Aliens and
horrific,
stuff.
but that's what I had to do.
So it's a nice space horror game. The original was good, and this remake is good as well. But again, this is a well done remake. It's just that there's a lot of other games I'd probably rather play on this list. That's all the games are higher than this list. I'd probably rather play.
The elevator in the maintenance room.
It's just that if I'm in a certain mood for sci-fi horror, then this is a good one. But the thing is, I'm not always in the mood for sci-fi horror. So there are games that are higher up on this list that I just prefer just because of the genre. Dead Space Remake is a good game. It's a good remake of a good game. Dead Space was very it's pretty widely acclaimed, I would say. Although all 3 of the games are pretty widely acclaimed, I believe. Definitely a good horror game.
Oh my God.
But I don't think people say it's an all-time horror game or something like that. It's just a very good horror game. So definitely has the atmosphere and everything down, and the graphics and everything have been upgraded.
There he goes. There's a guy coming.
But just every time I play it, reminds me a little bit of Twist on Alien. because I think that's what it is. The twist
There's
on
another guy
aliens.
outside.
All
I can
sci-fi
see him.
horrors come from that. So yeah, it's again, like I said, very good game.
Oh, look at that.
Very good remake of a very good game, and that's really hard to say. If you like space horror or sci-fi horror, then this is the game to pick up. It's just like I'm not always in the mood for this type of game. That's it.
Shit.
Right, so number 18 is Resident Evil 4 Remake. I know this seems low for a lot of people because Resident Evil 4 is considered one of the greatest horror games ever. And I recognize that. Yeah, it's definitely one of the best Resident Evil games. Certainly for the atmosphere, gameplay, and everything. It's just that this is more of a genre thing for me. I'm not like a huge fan of horror.
Oh
I do
my
play
God,
horror
so
games
many
on my
guys.
channel. Of
I don't have
course.
enough ammo to
Obviously,
deal with all
this is
these
for my
guys. I
channel.
only have 7.
But it's not like
7
one of the
shots.
genres
There's no
I
way I
really
can
go
beat all
to
these guys.
very much.
See, each guy takes like
It's just that every
7
other
or
game
8
on
shots
that's
to kill.
higher than this is
No
like,
way.
yeah, it's not like it's from a different genre or yeah, just maybe I liked it a bit more in some way. But it's just
Oh,
this is
they're
not
burning someone at
a
the
knock
stake.
on Resident Evil 4. It's just
crazy
I'm
shit.
not like a huge
burning
fan
people
of
at
horror.
stake.
I will play horror games sometimes, but
Maybe
it's
they're
not a genre.
Thinking
I
they're
go to.
heretics or something.
So that's why Resident Evil 4 Remake is low on this list.
Heretics
It's a great
must
remake of a
burn
great
at the
horror
stake.
game. I understand that. An all-time horror game. Yes, it's also a very difficult and challenging game. I remember I couldn't even get past this
no,
part
no
basically
peek.
because they just don't have enough ammo, and then all the villagers just come swarming towards you, and you just don't have enough ammo to kill them all. So that's kind of frustrating to me. So that's another thing it kind of bugs me about this game is just that the difficulty level is there, so it's not an easy game. But I have to admit, it's a well done remake.
No.
Yeah, the graphics and everything, and everything's very faithful to the original. And I have played the original as well, so yeah. If you guys are looking for a classic horror game, then definitely check out Resident Evil 4. This is a great remake of a great horror game.
Get out of here,
Just
it's too many people.
for me, I'm not always into horror. That's it. So it's nothing to do
shit.
with this game. It's just more about me not preferring the
Time
genre.
to get
that much.
out.
Alright, so number 17 is Alan Wake 2, and I'm just going to go ahead and get all these horror games out of the way, because like I said, I'm not like a huge fan of horror games or anything like that. I play them sometimes, and that's about it. Alan Wake 2 is probably the best out of the 3 previous horror games. I listed Dead Space Remake,
Oh dear.
actually System Shock Remake. System
to the
Shock is
dear
kind of
diner.
horror-ish, I guess, as well. Dead Space Remake, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake 2 is probably my favorite out of these, because at least it's original. The other ones are remakes. This one is at least original. So yeah, Alan Wake 2 is a good horror game. Very good, actually. Just I'm not like a
Nice to meet you, Sheriff.
big horror guy. That's it. So that's why this one ranked 17. But if you guys like horror games, definitely pick up Alan Wake 2 and make sure to play the first Alan Wake, because this definitely just continues on from the first Alan Wake. And if you don't play the first Alan Wake, you're going to miss a lot of, or you're just going to get confused about a lot of things that happen in Alan Wake 2. But it's a great horror game. So if you guys are into mysteries, horror, and yeah, this is definitely the type where it's like, yeah, there's some mystery to it as well. So yeah, if you guys are into horror games, definitely check Alan Wake 2 out, especially if you're into original horror games, because yeah, like a lot of the great horror games I just listed, they're remakes. This one's not a remake; it's actually an original game. It's a sequel. So yeah, Alan Wake 2 definitely belongs on this list, albeit a little bit. It's lower than a lot of other people's lists. I know Alan Wake 2 was in consideration for Game of the Year for a lot of people. So was Resident Evil 4 Remake, actually. But for me, it's lower just because I don't play too much horror.
That's us. I'm Tammy, and
Alright, number 16 is Remnant 2. I played this a lot with my brother, and yeah, I think we actually ended up beating it. So yeah, I play this a lot co-op. It is a Souls-like game, which means that it's generally pretty difficult. And there's definitely a lot of parts where you just have to be very skilled to beat it. I wouldn't say it's as great as a lot of FromSoft games though. So you can definitely tell, yeah, this is trying to be like a FromSoft game. It's trying to be a Souls-like with the whole aesthetic and the challenge. But it's definitely not. So FromSoft game is not as good of a good or polished as a FromSoft game. However, like just crazy amount of secrets and stuff in this game. That's one thing I have to note. But it's not exactly as polished as a FromSoft game. I mean, it's clearly derivative. So yeah, there is some. I do like the art design in this game. You know, there is some cool designs and stuff like that, but it's not the same level as FromSoft.
He got shot in the eye.
So, anyways, I have this on my list because it is a good game. I did enjoy playing it. I think it's kind of underrated because it kind of went. There's a lot of good games that came out last year. And Liza P also came out, which I didn't get to play, but I heard that one was good too. So, anyways, there was just oversaturation of these kind of games recently, especially Souls-likes got so popular after Elden Ring came out. So yeah, Remnant 2 definitely is a very good game. So I highly recommend playing it. If you're just playing it by yourself, it's not quite as interesting, I think. A lot of things are randomized and there's secrets all over the place, and you might find it frustrating.
Oh man. Okay, interesting.
Also, the story is very complicated too, so there's that too. So, anyways, Remnant 2 is a very good game. Just there's probably other games I would play. I enjoy playing more actually, and especially if you're playing this alone, it's not quite as enjoyable. I imagine if you're playing this alone, it's probably more frustrating than enjoyable actually. So number 15 is going to be Cocoon. Cocoon is a puzzle game, or I guess puzzle adventure game. It's made by the same developers as Inside and Limbo, I believe. So, yeah, it's more one of those artistic games where there's really no combat in this game. It's more about exploring, solving puzzles and stuff like that. And this kind of game is also cool too. So just for something a little bit different from the other games on this list, it's definitely also very clever, just like this developer's other games, I guess. Very clever. So yeah, actually I like Cocoon a lot. It's definitely a different kind of game from the other games on this list, but it's still very clever. I still enjoyed playing it, just for a little bit of a break from all the action and stuff like that. Just want to use my brain to figure out what's going on, and yeah, this game's a really nice puzzle game. So I definitely had to put Cocoon on my list. Yeah, just a lot of the moments were like, ooh, interesting. Okay, I never thought about that. So kind of like that. So anyways, Cocoon has to be on my list. So number 14 is going to be Slay the Princess. So this game was, I mean, it was surprisingly very interesting to me, I guess, because I had no idea what this game was going to be like, and I saw the graphics and the artwork, and I was like, what is this game, right? But when I played it, I was like, this is actually pretty unique and interesting. It's more like a choose-your-own-adventure, I guess, type of game.
Yes.
So yeah, it's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure game, but it has multiple endings that affect each other and stuff. So it really is a very unique game. So if you guys are interested in adventure games, but kind of a twist on the adventure genre, this is like when you're reading a book and you choose like those choose-your-own-adventure books where you flip to a different page and a different outcome happens. That's really kind of like that, except that when you choose different outcomes, it affects the rest of the game as well. So each effect, I guess, compounds onto each other, and then there's so many different endings in this game, so many different outcomes. So it really is a pretty unique game. So I highly recommend if you're interested in these adventure games or choose your own adventure games with a lot of reading and narratives. Because there's not like really any action in this game, it is just reading and choosing and choices. So it's like a visual novel in that sense. If you guys are interested in that kind of game, then I highly recommend Slay the Princess. It's a pretty unique game. So number 14 on my list is Hi-Fi Rush. Probably a game that I would say gets my pick for a game that really came out of left field from Bethesda, actually. So people probably don't know this is actually Bethesda.
Dodging manufacturing.
But yeah, really came out of left field. Not many people were expecting something like this. But it really is a really cool, unique, original game. Dodge some sort of machine etching, like lasers printed circuit board thing. Yeah, so this game just came out of nowhere, and I think kind of surprised everyone with how good it was.
You're not dead.
So it's this cel-shaded hack and slash game essentially, but you use it's also a rhythm game as well. So it's like a rhythm game combined with a hack and slash, and yeah, it's got a lot of charm and humor in it.
Special Iron Man
cel-shaded graphics work really well in this game, and I mean he attacks with a guitar. I mean, yeah, all this game is it's pretty charming. It's pretty unique and original, in my opinion. So definitely one of the more original games that came out last year, because so many remakes and remasters these days. This is definitely one of the most original games that came out last year. Very, very cool and interesting. And the whole aesthetic is almost like Jet Set Radio with the cel-shaded graphics and stuff, but you're playing a rhythm hack and slash. just really cool game. Yeah, so it definitely belongs in my
Oh.
top 3. And I think definitely this was a sleeper hit. I think not many people expected this game to be this good, but it is a good game. So Hyper-Rex definitely deserves a spot on this list.
Oh, there's a lot of guys.
Very fun, unique. Yeah, it's a really fun, unique, original game. Okay, number 12 is Octopath Traveler 2. So if you guys noticed that a lot of JRPGs unfortunately did not make this list because it was such just like really derivative stuff. Like Trails into Reverie came out last year as well. Atelier Ryzer 3 and Fate Samurai Remnant are 3 I'm going to list that are pretty good but didn't quite make this list. Octopath Traveler 2, yes, it is obviously derivative of Octopath Traveler. But the thing is, it's basically, it's a more like improving on a lot of Octopath Traveler's details and story and stuff like that, adds new characters and stuff. It's just a more polished version of Octopath Traveler. And Octopath Traveler is actually kind of a unique game. It has these really unique graphics, by the way, which is this retro 3D style graphics that only Square Enix uses, I think. Well, actually, Wandering Sword kind of used it as well, but they basically stole that from Square Enix. This is a Square Enix proprietary engine, I think. So, yeah, the original Octopath Traveler, you choose 8 different protagonists, and you have this really unique graphical engine. And Octopath Traveler 2 is more of that, but it's better in every way. It's just it's a more polished, more interesting game with more interesting characters, I think, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it just takes what Octopath Traveler did and just improves upon it in every way. It's just a great sequel. So I have to put it on this list. If you guys haven't played the original Octopath Traveler, definitely play that as well. But if you're looking for just which one to pick up, yeah, the original one was good. Was a good game. But this one, I think I like better. So yeah, just more interesting characters for me, and just improves upon the original. So I had to put Octopath Traveler. It does have a lot of the original old school RPG type mechanics as well. Like it has random encounters. That's very old school style, turn-based. So it does have some of the old school JRPG feel, but with a very interesting, new graphical engine and stuff like that, that the original Octopath Traveler had as well, and then multiple protagonists obviously as well. So pretty cool. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of this new engine style and this new style of it's like somewhere between like it's like Square Enix trying to do a retro style game but with a new twist on it, which is cool. Alright, so number 11 is Disgaea 7. I think when I played Disgaea 5, first of all, is one of my favorite JRPGs of all time. It's just such a deep game. You can keep grinding in it forever and ever, and there's so many levels of complexity to that game. And Disgaea 6 was kind of disappointing because, well, first of all, there's performance issues in Disgaea 6, and then second of all, it just wasn't as interesting. The character's story wasn't that interesting as Disgaea 5 was. Obviously, the gameplay is still deep because it is Disgaea, right? But still, the characters and story didn't interest me as much as Disgaea 5. But Disgaea 7 kind of brings it back and made the characters interesting again. So the story and the characters are interesting. Now, I wouldn't say it's on the same level as 5 for me, but it's definitely getting back to the level that 5 was. Whereas Disgaea 6 was definitely more of a disappointment for me. I think Disgaea 7 is a step in the right direction, back into having, well, the same deep mechanics as Disgaea 5, same polished gameplay, very deep, complex gameplay, but also with a more interesting characters and story than Disgaea 6. So definitely headed back in the right direction. So props to Nippon Ichi for putting the series back to where it needs to be. So yeah, Disgaea 7 definitely has to make my list. It was definitely a huge improvement over Disgaea 6, I think, in every way. Right, number 10 is Super Mario Wonder. A lot of people had this pretty high. I guess it does make my top 10 as well, but I'm not going to put it like very high in my top 10 because at the end of the day, it's a Super Mario game, so it's not like too different or anything like that. But I will say that they do try to put some new twists and stuff on Super Mario. So that's one thing I like about Nintendo is that Nintendo, they've always been pumping out hits, like their internal development department. They've always been pumping out hits for Mario and Zelda, especially. It's actually crazy how many good games they have in their series while keeping it kind of fresh and original. So you would think that with something like Super Mario, that's been going on since 1985, that they would run out of ideas by now, right? Like how many different ways can you do this side-scrolling platformer? But yeah, Super Mario Wonder just shows, hey, you can still keep innovating, even in the 2D form, right? I mean, we've seen Nintendo innovate in the 3D Super Mario games, right, with Super Mario Odyssey, but even in the 2D format, we've seen this kind of innovation where they do put some new twists and stuff on the old formula that seems very fresh. And that's what Super Mario Wonder is. It's a fresh take on the 2D Mario game. A lot of people really love it. So anyways, it is in my top 10, so I do have to put it there. I won't say that's like really higher than that for me, because after all, it's still, you know, still a side-scrolling platformer at its heart. But yeah, I do have to appreciate that Nintendo was trying to do something new here. So that's Super Mario Wonder. Right, number 9 is Final Fantasy 16, which is a PS5 exclusive. So this game, a lot of people really like this Final Fantasy game because honestly it was probably the best Final Fantasy game since Final Fantasy 12, like mainline Final Fantasy game. And I'm not counting FF7 Remake. I know Final Fantasy 7 Remake is actually, I enjoyed it more than this game. But we're talking about original Final Fantasy game. So as an original Final Fantasy game, yeah, I think this is probably the best Final Fantasy game since 12. And I'd probably put it on par with 12. They're different, but they're both good in their own ways. Final Fantasy 16, very story heavy. There's like half of this game, more than half of this game is like cutscenes, I think. And the combat is definitely more modern style. So it's not like the traditional turn-based combat. It's more of a action RPG. And a lot of people have issues with this, but you know, honestly, if you really want to have an old school JRPG, Square Enix does make that. It's called Octopath Traveler. So yeah, and Dragon Quest as well. So Square Enix makes a few traditional RPG games. If you want that traditional turn-based combat, you have Dragon Quest and you have Octopath Traveler. But Final Fantasy is where experimentation always happens. So every Final Fantasy game is quite different from each other, and FF16 took probably the best part of FF15, which was the combat system, and then they put in a much better story, because FF15 story was pretty horrible. A lot of people didn't like FF15's characters or story, so FF16 put in a lot better characters and story. So yeah, it's a great Final Fantasy game. Maybe top 5 Final Fantasy game, maybe. But yeah, it is quite good. Definitely the best since FF12. I'm not counting FF7 Remake. So yeah, definitely has to go on my top 10 list here. So Final Fantasy 16. Although I would say that the combat seems a bit easy to me, but maybe you can crank up the difficulty a little bit more later on. But it does seem a bit easy. But yeah, overall it is a more faster-paced Final Fantasy game compared to the older ones, but with a good story. Okay, number 8 is a surprising entry, I would say, on my list. It's In Stars and Time. If you guys haven't tried this game out, do try it out, because this has a very old school, I mean, it looks like a Game Boy game, right? It has a very old school feel. It's an indie RPG, but it's done in the style where it kind of reminds me of Earthbound and Undertale. I mean, probably more Undertale. But Earthbound is, you obviously see Earthbound influences here as well. So it's one of those very unique and quirky RPGs. So, and Undertale was probably influenced by Earthbound as well. But yeah, this game is more along those lines. It's a very interesting RPG where you can kind of you have like a time loop basically, where every time you die, you keep your memories and
at the same point.
And yeah, like there's like a lot of interesting things that happen in this game because you have a time loop going on in this game. So anyways, very quirky RPG, and it's very original. Well, yeah, I guess original-ish in the implementation of, you know, just being a very interesting, unique RPG. The main character is also a very interesting one as well. So anyways, I just found this game pretty fresh to play. I know there's elements where it's like, oh, this reminds me of Earthbound, or reminds me of Undertale, but for me, this is pretty original. Like, I haven't played another RPG exactly like this one. It's almost like a parody of a lot of these, yeah, it's like a parody of an RPG in some ways. So I really enjoy playing this game, so that's why I have it in my top 10. It might be a surprising pick for some of you guys, because like, what? I don't know this game, In Stars and Time. It's an indie RPG game, but I really did enjoy it. It's a very fun, quirky, and charming game. And I know the graphics look like they're from Game Boy, but trust me, If you guys like quirky RPGs, definitely pick it up. Okay, so number 7 is Dredge, and this game honestly surprised me with how good it was. So when I heard about Dredge, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna check this game out. It's just like this fishing simulator game. So I was like, I don't fish. I don't enjoy fishing. Can't be that great, right? Played it, and then I was like, whoa, this game is a lot more about exploration actually. And the fishing simulator is like barely a simulator. It's basically this mini game. That's it. More of this game is probably more about the exploration and mystery and adventure, which honestly reminds me more of Outer Wilds. And Outer Wilds is a game I would put in any top 10 in any year. So Outer Wilds was a great game, and this kind of gives me that feeling. It's a sense of adventure and mystery. Like, what's going on in this town? Why is there like all these monsters and stuff showing up at night and stuff? Like, what if I go over here? What if I travel or I sail over here? What's going to happen to me at night? Like, there's a sense of suspense and mystery. Sometimes you catch really strange looking fish. So yeah, there's this just this adventure this sense of adventure and mystery basically is what I really like about Dredge. So yeah, this is an indie game, as you guys can tell, and yes, I do like this better than Dave the Diver, which didn't make this list. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite games from last year. Surprisingly, I never expected to be playing this game for as long as I did, but I just kept playing it. I was like, wow, I gotta find out what's with this area of the game. What if I go to this island, and what kind of monsters show up here? Why is this monster here? Like, a lot of mystery and adventure in this game. So yeah, I originally thought this was just like a fishing simulator, but it's a lot more than that. It's just like an exploration adventure game. A lot of mystery too. Okay, number 6 on my list is Spider-Man 2, which I think is probably the best Spider-Man game that's ever been made. And I really mean this, because this game was really in the Game of the Year nomination, right? This game takes basically the best parts of, well, it basically is the sequel to Miles Morales, right? Which is the sequel to Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, which are both really great games. So you can think of Spider-Man 2 as basically the evolution of the mechanics from Marvel Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales. Yeah, and you can play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales in this one. So it really is just the culmination of the story of those two. And if you like Spider-Man, this is a no-brainer, right? This is one of the best superhero games ever. I think a lot of people were putting it in the Arkham trilogy, right? The Batman Arkham trilogy. Those are also some really good superhero games. But yeah, this is in contention for one of the best superhero games ever made. And certainly, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man game ever made. Because it really is just, yeah, they took everything they learned from first 2 Spider-Man games from Insomniac and just, made it even better. So added more stuff. So yeah, Spider-Man 2 is definitely on this list. So yeah, just a really good game. Just outside my top 5 though. But it's an open world game as well. Just swinging around as Spider-Man is always a great feeling. And then you have this stylistic action combat that's kind of similar to Batman Arkham series. Yeah. Might be a little bit flashy for some old school players, but I think it works out well. If you like the God of War type of combat, then this is basically kind of like that as well. Yeah, except this one is way more open world than God of War. I actually like this better than God of War Ragnarok, even though that game got a lot of praise. I like this game better, and that just shows you how much more stacked last year was. That this game was it's not even in my top 5, and I like it better than God of War Ragnarok. But yeah, Spider-Man 2, really good game. Okay, number 5 is going to be Super Mario RPG Remake. This seems high for some people, right? But for me, I'm also going to be ranking it based on the original game as well. So on the merits of the original game, Super Mario RPG was one of my favorite RPGs ever. Certainly just on Super Nintendo is one of my favorite. And then just in general, really loved it. I have a lot of nostalgia for this game. I played it a lot when I was a kid, on emulator actually, because I didn't have a SNES. So yeah, this is a very faithful remake. I think it's done really well. And because I'm also judging it based on the original game as well, yeah, this has to be in my top 5 because I love Super Mario RPG. So just one of my favorite RPGs. Like when Square came out with this originally, I don't think anyone expected it to be this good, right? A Mario RPG. with Bowser as a playable character, but yeah, like turned out to be a really, really good RPG, and one of the best on the Super Nintendo already, which has a lot of great RPGs on it. But yeah, this pretty faithful remake here of a really classic RPG game. So, I mean, if you guys haven't played Super Mario RPG, this is your chance to do it, because Super Mario RPG remake is, yeah, it's a really nice, like, faithful remake of the original game, which is a really, really good game. So, one of my favorite RPGs. So I had to have it here in my top 5. Okay, number 4 is Star Ocean 2 R. So this is the remake of Star Ocean 2, and it's done really well. The reason why I have it ahead of Super Mario RPG Remake is because the engine that Square Enix uses in this game is incredible. So let me show you guys a bit more. So yeah, the engine that Square Enix uses in this game is, I think, an evolution of the Octopath Traveler engine. So I'm not sure how they're doing it, but somehow they have this retro-looking character, right? The retro-looking sprite, but in a 3D background, and it's all done in a really beautiful, amazing way. And I really hope that future remakes, especially of classic JRPGs like Star Ocean 2, can do it like this. Like Chrono Trigger, for example. I would love to have a Chrono Trigger remake like this. That would be amazing. FF6, I would love to have an FF6 remake like this. Just, yeah, it's done so well. I don't know what, it's like an evolution of the Octopath Traveler engine or something. This 3D background with a 2D pixelated sprite, it's just beautiful. Now Star Ocean 2 as a game, I don't know, I think I have more ties to Super Mario RPG, but I definitely like Star Ocean 2 as well. I think Super Mario RPG would probably rank overall higher than Star Ocean 2 for me, but the remake of this ranks higher than the remake of Super Mario RPG, because the remake for Super Mario RPG was pretty standard remake in my opinion. It was just making everything like a little bit more high resolution and more 3D looking and stuff like that instead of the blocky looking sprites. But this game just uses this totally amazing engine for Star Ocean 2, and I love it. So this remake is done better than Super Mario RPG remake, so I had to put it higher. So anyways, and Star Ocean 2 is a pretty solid JRPG on its own. A lot of people consider it the best Star Ocean game, and I think I would consider that too. I played the original. Actually, I played Second Evolution, which is the PSP version. So yeah, it's a really great JRPG by itself. But this remake is pretty much the definitive edition. Just pushes it ahead for me. It's a beautiful, gorgeous looking game. And Star Ocean 2's got a great story, great characters. Gameplay is really nice as well. So yeah, if you guys haven't played Star Ocean 2, this is your chance to do it, because this is an amazing remake of Star Ocean 2. Okay, number 3 is going to be Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I know this seems a bit high for a lot of people. I mean, yeah, this wasn't really in Game of the Year contention for a lot of people. But for me, this was definitely one of my favorite games of last year. So this is like an action-adventure game. Obviously, it's a sequel to Fallen Order. Fallen Order was already a pretty good game as well. But Jedi Survivor, I like better than Fallen Order.
Adventure games.
First of all, it's faster paced.
Inspired by each other, right?
Fallen Order starts off kind of slow. That's what I didn't like about it. But this game starts you off right in the middle of Coruscant, which is awesome. So you can just get in on the action right away. Yeah, everything in this game, the graphics are amazing. Just being in the Star Wars universe is probably one of my favorite Star Wars games ever, along with Knights of the Old Republic 2, and Battlefront 2 is pretty good as well. Yeah, like, it's definitely one of my favorite Star Wars games, for sure. So, yeah, Jedi Survivor, the combat's also really good, surprisingly good. After playing Elden Ring, I think, I got really used to having really intense combat fights. And Jedi Survivor does have that. I remember the first boss I faced in Jedi Survivor, it took me maybe 6 tries or 7 tries to beat him. Her, actually, I think it was a her. Yeah, it took me 7 tries to beat her. So it's a pretty intense battle, actually. So all the boss fights in Jedi Survivor are pretty intense, just like in a FromSoft game, which is pretty awesome, honestly. And they combine that with these amazing graphics, the Star Wars setting, you know. And yeah, you continue the story of Cal here from Fallen Order. So overall, just a great improvement on Fallen Order. Great sequel to a really great game, actually. So yeah, Jedi Survivor. I know it's high for a lot of people. They're probably thinking this game's top 3. But for me, it was right. This is just one of my top 3 favorite games that I played last year. So in my list, yeah, Jedi Survivor's in my top 3. So yeah, it is a really good game. If you guys like Star Wars and stuff, yeah, this is one of my favorite Star Wars games ever. Just really, really great. Beautifully executed. Okay, number 2 is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I think this is not a surprise for a lot of people, right? Tears of the Kingdom is one of the best games that came out last year, and last year was already stacked, so that tells you how good this game was. Basically an improvement on Breath of the Wild in every way. Yeah, like Breath of the Wild was a monumental game, one of the greatest games ever. Totally changed the open world gaming scene, I guess. Like you see games like Genshin Impact, games like Elden Ring, games like Power World, they all took things from Breath of the Wild. And then Tears of the Kingdom basically takes the same formula as Breath of the Wild, but then innovates on it. As Nintendo somehow always manages to put a nice spin on their games and make it even better. Just like with Super Mario Wonder, except Tears of the Kingdom, because this has this really beautiful open world, but now you can craft stuff with it as well as you have a Minecraft element to it. Yeah, it's... I mean, it's honestly surprising, right? It's like how good Nintendo's development team can be. It's like, how can you improve on Breath of the Wild, one of the greatest games ever? Well, you add in this crafting mechanic, and you add in this, this other really beautiful world, and yeah, you add in crafting mechanic that you can build like flying machines and all sorts of different devices and stuff. Yeah, that's how you improve on an already all-time game, I guess. So I know Breath of the Wild is the more influential and greater game in terms of the influence, but Tears of the Kingdom I think is the better game. It just takes everything Breath of the Wild did and adds more stuff. So yeah, I mean the fact that you can build everything in it is yeah, you put like Minecraft elements in it, but it's more than that. It's like you can build your own like ways to travel and stuff. So it's pretty crazy what you can do in this game. I remember when this game came out, all my coworkers were talking about it for weeks and weeks. Basically, everyone was playing this, and they were sharing what they were building and stuff like that. So just goes to show like how deep this game can be. Just having this beautiful, amazing open world, and just adding the ability to craft stuff onto it just opens up a lot more. So yeah, amazing game, an improvement on a already all-time game. Somehow Nintendo did that. It's amazing. All right, my number 1 favorite game, and I think greatest game of last year is no surprise, Baldur's Gate 3. So Baldur's Gate 3, I think it won a lot of Game of the Year awards last year, and for good reasons, because it's just a super polished game. It's just one of the greatest RPGs of all time. Lots of different choices in this game, very complex and deep mechanics in the gameplay. The fact that I can do co-op split screen with somebody, like couch co-op, right, in an open world RPG game is nearly unheard of. Split screen, so it's crazy, right? Like, and I can do totally independent stuff from my friend too. Like I have like different dialogue trees. I can go down my own path, and yeah, I can do things like totally independently of my partner in a split screen environment. And we're both in the same world. It's an open world, right? A very big open world actually. So yeah, I think if you saw some of my other RPG gameplay videos, you probably won't be surprised. This is number 1 because I do like isometric RPGs, and Baldur's Gate 3 is isometric, of course, just like the first 2 Baldur's Gate games. I think what's incredible is the first 2 Baldur's Gate games were considered all-time classic RPGs already, and then Larian Studios made Divinity Original Sin 2, which is another all-time classic isometric RPG, and then somehow Baldur's Gate 3 improves on both of those games. Improves on Divinity Original Sin 2, makes it more accessible, improves on Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, to adds more features and stuff. Like, yeah, it's pretty amazing how they somehow improved on 2 all-time isometric RPGs with this one. So, yeah, I guess it shouldn't be surprising, but Baldur's Gate 3 has to be my number 1 pick. It's just the gameplay is so deep. You can play with a friend through split screen co-op, an open world RPG. There's many different choices you can make. All of it affect the game story, and lots of replayability. So yeah, you can play this game for a long time. It's it just has a lot of replayability, and there's like so much depth to it. So anyways, Baldur's Gate 3 has to be my pick for for my favorite best game of 2023. And that was a very stacked list, guys. That was 30 games, and honestly, there was more games than that, right, that I played that I wanted to include, but I had to limit it to just 30. And there is so many good games that came out last year. It's crazy. Probably the most stacked game I've known in video game history. I don't know any other year that came out with so many good games. Wow. But yeah, I top it off with Baldur's Gate 3. Jeez. This and Elden Ring, man, you have like 2 all-time RPGs that came out within the last 2 years alone. That's really crazy. So, anyways, that's it, guys. Let me know what you guys think of my my ranking in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree, or which games do you think I left out? So that's it. Thanks for watching.